to kind of record your all's grade. So what are you thinking?
So for my multimodal project, I have 2 ideas. So my first idea is having a podcast with a bodybuilder who was my friend, who I showed you guys in the presentation. I was going to ask him about a normal day in his life, how he prepared for his first show, because that was a picture of his very first show, and then the negative and positives on his journey of preparation, and then how he felt during it, and like how he kept feeling worse because he, since he had to keep eating less and less, he would be nutrient deficient, so it made him feel like crap. And then I'd ask him about his thoughts on steroids and the pros and cons in his eyes. I'd ask him why he started working out and what his future goals were, and anything else like that. And then my second idea was to have a timeline of a bodybuilder from the 4 months before his show to the day before his show to the day of his show, and then the month after. And I talk about his bulk and his off season, and then the weeks of prepping before and how he would cut, and then the peak week, which is the week before, then because it's different than everything else, and then the day before the show, because you have to like take in a certain amount of water, eat a certain amount of carbs, stuff like that, and then I'll talk about different training strategies of each like period, and then I would put it up with pictures too, like someone who was like a little bit thicker, which would be like the first 4 months, or like the first day of the 4 months, and then a picture of him which would be like really lean of like the week before, and then him like super shredded, like no body fat of like the day before the show. And then I'd ask him about their diet and like the differences between all of those time periods, and then I might just do like a specific bodybuilder if I can find one, like goals like that.
Cool. And just to clarify, for your second project, is that like a infographic, a photo essay, a video? Like, are you
I
thinking
don't know the infographic.
like what you showed me, the picture?
Like of the timeline. Of the
Yeah. So you'd be kind of doing like graphic design with that. Okay, perfect. Any thoughts on what either? Yeah, Ava.
I was gonna say that I like, you said a video, right? Just your first one was
Yeah.
a video. Okay. I would say I definitely like that one because I think that gives like, if you're using like someone who actually is in like the community, I feel like getting their ideas and their opinions is gonna be really beneficial.
One vote for video. Any other ideas? Either which one you think sounds more interesting, or questions you'd want to hear about? We can come back. If you all think of something later, we can come back. Thank you. All right, and Jake, that brings us to you.
For my multimodal project, I was thinking about doing a podcast also. I wasn't too sure who I'd do the podcast with. I was thinking either like an older Bengals fan, so I had like their point of view from like when they were around, like for the other 2 Super Bowls that I wasn't alive for. Or I was thinking maybe to do it with like a non-Bengals fan to get like an unbiased point of views from them about the Bengals, because obviously I have bias towards them. I'd probably just talk about like all the Super Bowl last year and the Super Bowls past, and like all the big events that they like had going on throughout their whole history. But then when Jack was talking about doing the timeline of with all the graphic design stuff, I feel like that could be pretty cool to do also. I didn't even think about doing that, just like with all the big points of the history, something like that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm hoping that you guys can. You don't have to be committed to anything you bring here today. So, good. All right. Any thoughts here? Yeah, Jack.
I think if you do the podcast, you should do like 4 or 5 minutes of the older Bengals fan, and then compare it to the non-biased Bengals fan. Just compare it of your podcast.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, Jared. Yeah, I think that would be interesting as well. Any other thoughts in here? Yeah, Lauren.
I'd say the podcast or the timeline thing is gonna be more interesting to like interview people and the be way more interactive as well.
Good. Alright, anything else? Yeah, Sarah.
I also like the timeline because I feel like if it's a person that doesn't know much about the Bengals, like it can like help them learn while they're doing it.
Good. Any other thoughts? Awesome. Well, great job, you all. Kayla, that brings us to you.
I'm thinking about doing a website and then just like putting like my essay throughout it and then adding a personal story. Ask why snowboarders aren't allowed at certain resorts and then give both sides of that, so the snowboarder's perspective on that and then also the skiers. And then also another way to look at it, I could get the ski resort's perspective of it and see like their reasoning as to why. Or I was thinking about doing a poster maybe.
Cool. What would be on the poster?
Like I could just put up like images and then
Yeah.
just facts about it.
Cool. You all have any ideas around this? Yeah.
Having a different point of views of the skiers, snowboarder, and the resort, on why they can't have snowboarders there.
Joe first.
I was just wondering, like, is the poster like an actual poster, or is it like just like a slide, like a slideshow?
I don't know, either one.
Yeah.
They both work.
Yeah.
I think you can print like poster size stuff at Willie T. So they have a lot of different things. Yeah, Gerard. Yeah. That's important. Yeah, Michaela.
I think the website would be better because you can add videos and stuff, or even have like you doing skiing or snowboarding, so it's more personal about it.
That's a good point. Thank you. Yeah, Leah.
I also think that I think the website would be a lot more engaging for the audience because it would have so many different components and like a lot of different information that we could interact with.
Good, thank you. Maddie.
I think the website could work better too, but I just think the poster's pretty positive because you can be very creative with it. So whatever you want, whatever the person's like.
Good. Great. Thank you all. Anything else? Sorry, I'm be moving kind of fast. Get everyone in. Caroline.
I might do just like a documentary or interview type thing with new members of sororities here because like my question is going to be how much does the world of social media play on people's judgment of this community here, and I kind of want to see their different experiences with Rush, and I'm just going to compare them to each house that they went in because they're all going to be at different houses here, and I feel like it'd be kind of fun to kind of see how it was different for each girl, and I'm also going to get the president of my sorority in it and see how all the different houses talk to each other during Rush, because I feel like that'd be kind of interesting.
Good. Anybody have any thoughts on this swing? Yes.
I really like that idea. It's cool to see like all the different perspectives from like different girls in each sorority. And like I just think it'll be interesting.
I just had two ideas. I am one of you all today. Like, I'm one of you all always. I don't really know what I'm doing, but, so I say that meaning you don't have to take my suggestion and you won't get more points if you do. It could be interesting to do either like a reaction video, like find a social media post and have like multiple people watch it, and kind of see, almost like on TikTok, like the duet style video, or to create, like you could, since your theme is social media, you could create like a positive social media campaign, or that could just be an alternative idea. Yeah, Sarah.
You could like do like older members and then newer members and just do like fairs or their like perspectives or experiences.
Good. That's a good suggestion. Yeah, Joe.
Maybe you could interview like people who decide not to join a sorority, see like why they didn't, like what their perspective is and like why they didn't want to or how like they got dropped or something.
Good idea, Maddie.
Or maybe if you have friends around the sororities, you guys can see how their perspectives about their sororities are compared to yours.
Yeah. All good ideas. Hopefully it'll help you as you're deciding. Anything else? Let me see who's next. Lauren.
Okay, so my community was the American Red Cross, and my first option is a photo essay of archives, and I kind of wanted to show the history and just everything about the American Red Cross, their like influence, what they've done for the community, maybe some pictures of like disasters and how they help disasters. And then my second option was I was going to interview a person that has been in the American Red Cross and for like a long time. I was thinking for this I'd probably want to do someone older and maybe try to get their perspective, or I don't know, maybe an active member. I haven't really decided yet, but those are my two options.
Great. So you have a research question you picked?
The research question I picked, I did not put it on here, but I can go back really quick. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just curious if, like, if you were doing a photo essay or interview, if there's gonna be kind of an overall
Overall
question you're
It'll
exploring.
probably just be how did the American Red Cross like affect them, or like yeah.
Perfect. Good. Any ideas? Yeah, Ava.
I would say, I think that would be the, like, not like a website type of, but I think it'd be good to see both like videos of someone, but also seeing pictures of like the disasters and like how they're helping. So I think just seeing a little bit of both will definitely be good.
Yeah. Good, Michaela.
I feel like if you interview two people, like the old person and young person, you could like ask what their experiences were, like maybe back then they're older versus now, like how has it changed or something. So
Yeah, I am kind of leaning, and again, you don't have to take my advice, but I think the archival photos you can find for the American Red Cross are so cool, and just seeing like it can really have an effect on your audience, I think, where one person's individualized experience might be more regional, like that can really show the scope of the work the Red Cross does. Yeah, Caroline.
I think it's like showing pictures and then maybe like quotes of people that were there during the disaster, maybe they like provoke emotion in the audience, which is like.
And I like too the photo essay we looked at, how she brought in like social media screenshots. I thought that was really cool and something you all could all kind of use, copy. All right, any other ideas? American Red Cross? Good. Let's see. Joe, you're up.
I was thinking about doing like a documentary type video, like learning how to interview people. Like I want to interview people who have like both like suffered and not suffered from like mental health issues, and then I also want to like interview both men and women to like see like how it could be different or how like they're similar. And then I also want to make a website, and then add like articles or videos based on like probably the history of mental health and then like what it can do and like the dangers of it, and then also like link like ways to get help on campus and just in Lexington in general.
So kind of deciding between those two. One, the website would be like a resource for people.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jake.
The interview you said you wanted to do people with and without it. How would you like find those people? Would you just go around?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably just ask them first, but as long as they're comfortable with it.
Yeah, and that's it's good to point out challenges we might run into. Jack, did you have your hand
Yeah,
up?
I was gonna say, I think the interview's a good idea, cause then you can get a bunch of personal experiences and how everybody views their mental health and things, and then you compare.
Gerard.
I like how obviously we like boys and girls, not just women, gender, and also I think like the video would be better, just kind of like personal experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Line.
gonna say you could combine it and include interviews from the website, and like make a little like area for that, and then continue with make resources if you want to do that.
Any other ideas? Also, maybe think about if you go with a video, looking at the psychology department, you might be able to talk to a professor or a grad student studying psychology, or even looking at where's the council? I forget the building they're in, but the counseling on UK. UK has therapists here that you can get free 12 free sessions a year as a student. So you could maybe see if you could interview one of the therapists, and they might be able to talk to you. Of course, there's patient confidentiality, but they might be able to talk to you general trends they see between male and female students that they work with. Once you leave a university, you're out in the real world, you come back and you're like, wow, everything is like, there's so much here to tap into for anything, which is great. Leo.
I'm not sure what I'm doing.
Okay. Well, do you have a research question in mind or anything, or still kind of figuring it out?
No.
Perfect. No worries. Sarah McNett. Yeah.
My first idea is multimodal project is like my community is doing this, so I want to do a photo collage with like the most memorable and like important photos, as well as like videos and stuff in like a timely order, so it kind of like timeline, just like showing like how she like evolved as a character and like just like her success. I guess I feel like in my artifact report I just focus on like one photo or something, but like since my like the artifact that I found it in is like a museum, I could like pull a bunch of different photos and videos from that, and I just think that like putting it in a timely order will just like show like her whole like career in like a really nice way. And then I don't know, my second idea is maybe doing a podcast of maybe doing like another student's weekend and like comparing like how much they know compared to what I know after doing like my projects, because I feel like before I didn't really know that much, but after like researching and like making 2 projects about it, I feel like I've learned a lot, and just seeing the difference between like a normal person and like what I've learned like might be interesting. But
Good. Yeah, Caroline.
I only know this because I've seen like her documentary is kind of a good second source you can probably use, because there's also interviews of other celebrities and like ways they talk about her and when she got her first award and where she's from and like kind of where she came from. So I feel like it'd be so easy to get so many things about her.
Sarah.
Yeah, I was gonna say good timeline, like every show, like her life and how lessons that I can get like from like the documentary or something.
Ava.
I like agree with what both of them said. I think that pulling information from that documentary, I know like that documentary is so huge. So like pulling information from that and using information is going to be really helpful from that. But also taking like that timeline, like you said, because all of her albums have definitely like had so many views and like so many hits. So taking them and putting them like in order just to like compare them and see, I think would be cool to see as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Leah.
I agree. I think the timeline would be a good idea because you can also, like an easy talking point is you can talk about the shift of whenever she was writing albums and then decided to start making Taylor's original albums. And so like that'll be a very easy talking point if you're doing a timeline, because you can talk about her childhood and go all the way up to when she started making Taylor's original.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was also thinking that like looking at her career as a whole and doing timeline and sort of thing is pretty helpful because I feel like she's been a pretty dynamic person that's kind of changed over time, and there's a lot of stuff that could
Good. Yeah, Jack.
I think you should do the timeline because it can show her increasing popularity and also show like how influential she is on everybody who listens to her music.
Yeah. My only fear is try to remember to focus on the fandom since that's your community, and there might be challenges in doing the timeline with that. Yeah, just make sure you're not losing sight of focusing on the fans. And I think if you do an interview with a fan, you could interview someone who really hates her too. And kind of how we watched the conspiracy theory documentary. I just love how that student like went back and forth between the two people. I could see that working in a project like this because people love her, but people also really hate her for rather than just being neutral. And I think that's an interesting place to focus your research because I think a lot of it can do with kind of this idea of who she is, and it's not really like not necessarily who she really is. Good. Any other ideas? Great. Gerard is next. I'm going to play. He already has a 3-minute clip done, so we'll watch that. And then if you guys have, I should have said this already, but you'll want this to be like 8 to 10 minutes long if you do a podcast or a video or something.
Can I explain it first?
Yeah, of course.
Alright, so I interviewed someone who's like not an athlete, so like she's not biased on anything, so but she had history on it, but she's just a regular student. And my interview is one that she's a girl and I'm gonna interview one of my teammates on his personal view later down the line.
Great. Yeah, thank you. It looks like it says you're still uploading it. I don't know why, but we can just talk about what your thought for the project.
I just asked her basically, did you have any history in the sports, running sports? And she did. She used to play basketball, soccer. And then I asked her, did you have any history in that point of mental health? Like, is it real for athletes or do bystanders just think like we're robots and like you don't have to experience towards it? And she basically said that we definitely have mental health issues in some sports and people don't understand it until they're in our shoes. They just think that we are robots and at some point and just complaining about everything, but like really we're just asking for like a little help or a little gratitude towards us. And then I asked her, should athletes be compensated for the amount of work we put on like the field or the court or whatever or not? And she said yes, because it gives us like the drive to be great, because you get more out of it, and not only help you for yourself, but help for your family. If you come from like a bad home or just for future references, it can help you in the future to manage your money and whatnot.
Good, thank you. Sorry we couldn't get it to play. Any thoughts about Gerard's idea for his project? Yeah, Ava.
I really like that. I can't tell if I like wanting to switch or not, but I think also maybe trying to find someone who doesn't, because I think your teammate is also going to feel the same way as kind of how this girl felt, because I don't know, but I think finding someone maybe who's on like the other side and kind of disagrees with what you're saying might be interesting too, just because having both opinions, I think could be cool.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like talking about getting something in return because there's so many people that work so hard and they're going to get friend time or something, so they kind of feel like they're just doing it because like, or like the only way they can go to school is buy that scholarship if they never get anything in return. So I feel like that's something that's really nice to hear about.
Good. And even if you're aware of like a public figure who doesn't support name, image, likeness, like if you could use like the way the conspiracy theory video used like a Nixon video, like you can use an outside source. You could use like a video clip from an interview of someone who, because I didn't know much about it, and a lot of people are writing about it, and it's very interesting because I guess you can in Kentucky, but not every state, right? So maybe even looking at those states that don't allow it, maybe you can find an audio or video clip of someone who doesn't support it. Any other thoughts? Good work. I'm excited to see all of these. Hopefully, Leah, you are up.
So basically for mine, I only have one idea because I kind of got set on this like last week. And I just
Oh,
been
that's
trying
perfect.
to brainstorm it since then, but I really want to do, since my community is the National Park Service, I really want to do like a parks guide,
Okay.
like basically like a brochure, that also compares like the parks maybe 50, 60, 70 years ago to now. And I think this would be really easy to do and incorporate my artifact in, since my artifact is a picture of Yellowstone National Park from a long time ago. There's not an exact date, but like it is from at least like 50 years ago. And I think a research question that I could use to kind of guide this would be maybe just trying to figure out like how the national parks have changed in the last half a century, like 50 years. But something along those lines that help me create kind of this parks guide, because there's a lot of things that have happened with climate change too that have really affected all the parks.
Good. Any ideas on what you'd want to see in this? Yeah, Maddie.
I think that's a really cool, because brochures and parks and what's
Yeah, it fits the subject matter. It's what you'd expect to get at a park. I love that. Sarah.
I really like the brochure idea. I think it's like really unique and cool. But I think since you're doing like the past and the present, you have like two different sides. So like you could learn about the past and then like flip over a page or something and like have like all your pictures and artifacts and stuff like on like the present side.
Good. Jordan, did you?
I think it was like, I think it's a really good idea to bring in the topic of like global warming and how it's changing the forest, like every day the wildfires, CO2 in there, but it's really get into like a topic that's current at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Good. Any other thoughts? Awesome. Nice job. All right, Michaela, what are you thinking?
I was thinking about doing, while I'm researching military peace areas, and I was thinking about doing mental health of either individual military members or their families, I'm not sure yet. It has a lot of like positive and negative things for like mental health, so that would be good. And I was thinking about doing like podcasts maybe, or interview style thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about maybe doing, like using the ROTC center, because they have a lot of military personnel, and maybe doing that, or maybe I have some people I know that are in the military, I can try interviewing them, so.
Good. So more, are you interviewing just members of the military, or are you specifically looking for their spouses and families as well?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, perfect.
So,
Great. Any thoughts on this one? Oh, yeah, Jack.
I think using ROTC is a good idea for your project, so you can put people's views on it here.
Yeah, good. Sarah?
I really like the idea of like interviewing military people.
That's a good suggestion. Thank you. Lauren.
I would say for the interview, maybe try to do 3 people, so what Sarah said, do someone before, someone in, and then maybe a veteran, and just see different perspectives and see how that varies throughout like age and their experience.
And there's a veteran in the MFA program that I'm in that served for 11 years, and he'd be happy to talk to you. I know you probably have plenty of people, but if you need someone old like me, I can introduce you all. Any other thoughts? Those are both really good suggestions. Brings us to you, Karina.
So, I'm thinking about to make a website about the theater community and like talk about like how like theater started, and I'll like add the artifact I used, and also add like some pictures of my personal experience, like and what musicals I did. Yeah.
Good. All right. Any thoughts of what you'd like to see on this website, or yeah, Jake?
To like interview a person in theater and talk about it and add that into the website.
Yeah, Jordan.
If you're using like mainly pictures, I think it'd be cool to incorporate theater like over the years, just to see the changes in theater over the years, almost like a timeline, but just like photos of it.
Yeah, Leah.
If you're gonna use like your personal experience in theater and then also maybe interview someone who is in theater currently, I think it would be interesting too to have the perspective of someone who's never been a part of theater, like someone who knows nothing about it, and just trying to figure out, you know, like what their kind of overall like interpretation of theater is.
Another thing I think would be cool, since everyone thinks of theater of like New York and whatnot, it might be cool. I've heard like Joe and Leah kind of are making resources, and I think maybe information on like the local theater scene, like if you want to go see a play in Lexington, where would you go? If you want to get involved in acting, where could you go? Just kind of a resource for this community we're in, since it's a little underrepresented. I like that some of you all are going to be making like resources that could really, and Jack too, like a lot of you all, resources that would go beyond just being like a school project and could be useful to people. Sarah Snyder.
So my main idea for now is to do like a podcast interviewing idols for like who works at a cycle studio around here. Just like doing a podcast with her, just talking about like her experiences as a swim instructors. So, or maybe also like talking with like members of that studio. And my other idea, which I don't like as much, but like maybe a photo essay of like how the spin bike has changed, like from the bicycle and then like to the spin bike, how it's changed over time.
Perfect. Good. Well, it sounds like you already go with the one that you're more excited about, I think. You have plenty of time to work on it. Any suggestions for either of those, though? Yeah, Lauren.
I was gonna say, you could use people that have never done Peloton, and maybe they're interested, and then you could do like active people that do Peloton, including the podcast, maybe like a section of the podcast.
I think especially with having the spin instructor, there's a good opportunity to explore like what do you get from a spin class that you don't get from like exercising at home? What do you get from using the Peloton that has this kind of virtual community attached to it that you might not get from using like a regular just stationary bike? Could be an interesting place to explore and direct the people you would talk to. Any other ideas on that? All right, we have 3 left. So Jordan, you're up.
Okay, so I'm leaning towards more of the podcast idea.
Good.
My community is the LGBTQ plus community. My mom has an older friend who has been an active LGBTQ member since he was 14 and he's now 65. So I am planning on bringing it to my podcast idea. So I could, since I'm an active LGBTQ plus member, I'm going to compare my idea with his,
Yeah.
like on what he went through growing up in that community to what I have been growing up. And I'm also planning on possibly interviewing people to get other aspects other than just mine and kind of comparing it in the podcast to bring up the topic in the conversation of the podcast. I think that's the general idea I'm gonna go
Good.
with, but I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna change it.
Yeah, I love that. That sounds like it could be a really great conversation between you guys. So I'm excited you have that person to talk to. Anything? Yeah, Sarah.
Yeah, I think like getting people from different generations would be cool to see.
Good. Any other ideas?
Can you be my topic question?
You can share it with us, but yeah.
Okay, it's just how have localist
Yeah.
point of views changed over time for like the 1950s?
Perfect. Yeah. If you all are all getting your 10 points just for sharing, even if you weren't super explicit with one question. I just want you having an idea of the general direction by this point in the semester. Caroline, did you have a
I was
idea?
gonna say like that question, like how people in the communities around you, like have their reactions, and if it's different compared to you or whether you were in there.
Good. All right. Any other ideas? Sam?
My community, I'm in Steve Dungeons and Dragons community, and I was thinking of doing an interview with my dad, because I'm looking to see differences in, just most of the community and how they made it back a long time ago. And so I'm thinking about interviewing my dad, who did play it a really long time ago when he was a kid, his friends, and I was thinking of kind of comparing my experiences with like what his experiences would be like, and kind of recording maybe what it was like for me and what it was like for him, and then seeing how that is different or if it's different at all, and just kind of seeing where it goes from there.
Good. I'm happy that you all have that in common. That's cool.
Yeah, I've played with him a couple of times. He's busy.
That's, I guess you have to, no, you could, that'd probably be a really long recording if you all recorded a game, but maybe you can play and see who wins now. Yeah. Right. Any other ideas on this? Yeah, Lauren.
I like the interview, but honestly, we could maybe do a photo essay of like past Dungeons and Dragons and like what it looked like in the past and maybe what it looks like now, and just kind of explain the game and kind of just go into depth of how people play there, all of that stuff. If you wanted to do that, but the interview was still a good idea. But honestly, we could also do a photo.
Good, yeah. Again, thank you all for giving suggestions. You all don't have to take any of them. Good to have more ideas. Any other thoughts for Sam? Okay. Maddie, he'll finish us up here, but please still listen to him.
I was deciding between making a website or doing a podcast. And I was originally just going to do a podcast because that was the first thing that came to my mind. But after seeing the example of the website that we used in the past, it made me interested in that too.
Good.
But I think as of now, I'm going to stick with the podcast. And my plan is to ask a friend of mine who is just rushed and join the podcast, and I'll ask him questions about the fraternity and the process of writing and how it works for it.
Perfect. Any suggestions on this podcast? Yeah, Joe.
I just think the podcast makes a little more sense just because like you're planning on interviewing someone. So I think it's better to like get them like actually saying it instead of like quoting them like on a website.
Yeah, Leah. Huh?
I agree. I think the podcast is a really good idea, just especially for your community. It makes the most sense. And I think getting maybe different perspectives would be good, but I think the podcast is a really good one.
Jordan.
Yeah, I'm just kind of going off what she
Any other ideas? Okay, I'm not gonna go over. Oh, so go ahead, Ava. Sorry.
I didn't go.
Oh, how did I skip you? I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to get my point.
Yes, please. I'm really
Okay.
sorry.
So for my community, mine was on like my sorority, which was Pride Out, and so I kind of wanted to focus more on like the stereotypes because I feel like there's a big like controversy within like stereotypes for like sororities and fraternities, but I kind of wanted to do like either like a video or just like interviews with like members or like girls within my sorority, just kind of like getting their opinion and how they see it, but also then kind of getting the opinions of like other people who aren't in a sorority and just seeing what they have to say and if their like their opinions are positive or negative. So just kind of getting like both sides of it just to see what people have to say for it. So yeah.
Good. Any ideas for Ava? Yes, Lauren, thank you.
You could do someone that's not in a sorority, you could do someone that's in a different sorority, and I would say do people of Child Out and just and do a big, like, just different ones.
Good. Any other thoughts? Okay, great job. I'm sorry I forgot you again. I marked you in here, I guess. I don't know.
You're fine.
Sometimes I can't see the spreadsheet. So I'm not going to go over the research plan because we're out of time. But the rubric is on Canvas, so look at it. And if you have questions when we come back. Don't forget to send me a screenshot of your quiz. This is the homework for when we come back, pages 3 to 15. This is a different textbook than the thick textbook. It's a little small one called The Engaged Citizen. You all had 2 books you're supposed to get for the class. And this is examples of other students writing. And then that's your next short writing assignment, which is due next Friday, but I like to give you all at least a week in advance. And since we're not meeting Friday and we're not meeting Monday, that is up there for you that you can work on whenever. But yeah, you guys are free to go. Let me know if you have any questions. Good job today. Thank you all. Where what?
The project is on campus.
Which project?
Like the multi.
It's not on Canvas. We talked about it Monday. And it's part of your final project, so you have to do a 2,500 word paper and then an 8 to 10 minute presentation and then a third just an alternative way of talking about your community. So we looked at some examples on Monday.